Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer. Welcome back to Football Manager 2020. This is the Zero to Hero Youth Factory series, and it's episode number 4. We're at the beginning of season number 2. It's the day of our first match of the season. But a little preview to the season. After picking up our first crop of youth intake players, we immediately saw a drastic difference in the team down the stretch. In those final 5 matches, well, we lost 2 straight. But then finally, with low morale, we eked out a draw, our first non-loss in a dozen games. But then we comfortably won the final 2 matches of the season. And heading into this season, everybody and their mother, especially their mothers, tried to take our players off our hands for us. And 99% of the time, they tried to do it for nothing. They just wanted free transfers, which was pretty ridiculous, if you ask me. I understand that they have no budget to work with, but they definitely felt that these players belonged at a higher level. Most of the teams coming in were 6th or 7th tier, looking for our guys. And you can kind of see why. In the preview to the new season, we are actually heavy favorites to win the league, with the 2 relegated sides near the top also in that favorites list. And then we are all over the Dream 11 from the media. The entire back 4, along with our keeper, Ball, so our entire back 5 are in the Dream 11. Also, the front 2 with our left wing and our lone striker in Matthews. Also, the key players for the league, Dyer and Matthews, right on top. The next best is John Campbell. We don't know much about the 31-year-old, but John Campbell plays for West Allotment. That's our first matchup of the season. So the team that just missed promotion last season, excuse me, sorry, I've been sick for a while. They are amongst the favorites, and it's not going to be an easy first match for us. But unlike last season, the morale has improved. There's been a little bit of improvement within the team. You can see Luke Dyer. A lot of these guys have kind of leveled off here recently, though Nicky Matthews is still improving. Ball's not improving right now, so Scott Frame still is, but a lot of the guys are not improving. Now, there's kind of a reason for that, and part of that comes down to myself and my back. For one thing, managing finances looking really good, tactical consistency looking good, domestic player bias, team discipline are looking good, media handling not so much. Attribute-wise, no changes here. Man management is up to a 3 now. Otherwise, that's the only change we've had. However, we are currently studying for a National C license, which actually means we haven't been around to coach the team. And with no assistant coaches, that's it. We are improving as a group, enough so that we've just seen a pretty drastic change on the club details. Reputation's still at a 5, where it was at the end of the season. But the club attendance, that was a 1, and then a 3, is now a 100. And the minimum club attendance, that was a 1, is now at least a 5. So the team's going in the right direction. Finances-wise, also going very well recently. Sorry. Youth facilities had dropped from a 20 to a 19, but this we keep at a 20, so we have reset that. And Washington, we played them. We only had 2 preseason games, but Consett was a higher division, and we only lost 1-0 and controlled much of the game. Those guys are 7th tier, I think. 8th, maybe. But Washington, our in-division rival, we beat them 5-0 at home during that preseason match. So looking pretty good for the season going forward. There has been some interest in coaches coming in, but until that reputation rises above 5, I don't want any of those guys. I don't want to get locked into some sort of contract with them. So we stay with what we have for a little bit longer, and hopefully a few wins, get into first place for a little while. We could see that change. Performance looking much better with the new season, especially when you consider the new bank balance that we've had over the last few months, just skyrocketing. Not even sure what it is that's doing that. Why don't we take a look and see what is this income over the last 4 months that is just rising and rising and rising. We've had a little bit in season tickets, a lot more than a season ago, so there's that. Sponsorships the same. Grants, wow. Big money coming in grants, $166,000. Also, the team has been quietly, and not so quietly actually, coming under potential takeover from the board. And actually, there you go, under status, in the process of a board takeover. Average ticket price is just $2. Nice. 5 season ticket holders. It's a step in the right direction. But the media prediction has us winning the league, so let's see if we can pull it off. Let's head into that first match. Oof, not a fan of the colors. We should be in the green and black. It'll be nice when we have an assistant manager so we can actually get some feedback on this. I've also gone on to make some additional changes. We are now down to Neil Curry as the only player in the starting 11 that is not part of our larger, from our youth intake. So Catton is in, Gray is in now, and Wilkinson are all into the starting lineup over White, Swain, and I think one other. Maybe Cross. Yeah, I think it was Cross. Cross was the other one. Backups definitely are still the original players. It'll be interesting to see what happens with the youth intake this year, especially if we get some midfielders, and how much better that makes us. We have changed the tactic. We're now into a more simplistic, basic tactic for 10th tier, but something these guys are capable of playing. We're pushing to a 4-2-3-1 with a control possession tactic. We're going to try to be smart with the ball, work it into the box, and then let Matthews do his thing. Speaking of Matthews, where is he at now? Finishing still only a 7. But he's aggressive, he's determined, he's got some pace, he can dribble a little bit, he's got a little bit of technique, and apparently is one of the best players in the league. So the 16-year-old could score a whole lot of goals this season. They don't have the match sharpness, they'll get there. Sorry. Oof. This cough has not been pleasant. This cold has not been pleasant. I've had one good night of rest in like 2.5 weeks. Rough times. But it goes with the territory of owning a daycare. Sure. Okay, they weren't that anxious to avenge them. Considering most of them didn't participate in that game, I kind of understand it. Alright, they're blue, our purple. It's pretty clear, the difference. And then West Allotment kicks off, and Frame forces the first turnover, and we begin possession. First minute, we go right down to the other end, earn a corner kick, and nearly score. Free header just over the bar, and we've already had 2 shots inside the first 5 minutes. Long ball ahead. Dale, through ball to Matthews. Matthews uses that pace to get behind the line. There was one man who was well behind the others, and there it is. Ooh. It's the finishing, right? If we had the finishing, wow, we got a yellow card already in our defense in the first 8 minutes, which reminds me, it's basketball, not soccer, but my hometown team, the Blazers, were playing just the other night against the Washington D.C. team. The Wizards. First 2 minutes of the game, one of the Wizards players was ejected from the game. West Willamette controlling the ball pretty well, and that is a nice chance. John Campbell. So John Campbell was actually the third. Oh, he was offside there. Oh, they got away with one. That initial ball was offside. This one was good. He wasn't offside there. Just good reaction. But John Campbell is the third player on that list of best players to watch. Yeah, this part was onside. It was a couple balls before that was off by a little bit. But we'll get goals today. Our problem is finishing. We could have, it looks like 10, 15 goals a game if we finished a little bit better. Hopefully he will develop that attribute a little bit. But you can see just how dominant we are out there. 60% possession, 8-4 on the shots. We'll come back. We won't win every game this season, but we'll win a lot. There you go. Matthews turns, beats his man, ties the game. First goal of the season. And he blasted that one. See the power in that shot? This little turnover. Matthews just turns, beats his man. Yeah, there wasn't that much power. We just, in slow-mo, it didn't look like that much power. Wasn't even a great shot. Just weak goalkeeper. We are in the 10th tier, after all. Gray lays it off. Up ahead, Williamson-Toyne. Ugh. That shot was blocked. Could have been 2. Wilkinson. It's back to him. He crosses it. Nearly get there. Gray. Ooh, poor pass. See, these guys definitely aren't there, ability-wise. And it's going to take a while before they're there. And with that whole studying for the coaching course for a little while. Matthews, nice! Oh, he turns, beats his man again. Nearly puts that one in. Just wide of the post. Dyer. Good interception on that one. And a decent layoff to the keeper. To not just clear it, but to create possession. Dale hangs on to that way too long. Long ball clearance. Matthews again. His speed, his aggressive nature, his determination. He's going to get so many chances created for himself. And then it's just going to come down to that mediocre finishing. But when you create a large X in that variable, not a small x, but if you create a large X worth of chances for yourself or with help from good teammates, quality teammates, you'll get goals. There's Matthews with his second of the game. Looks like it was a deflection this time. I don't think the shot was his. Dale's cross. Williamson-Toyne lays it off for Curry. And, ooh, did we get away with an offside on that? We might have. Matthews does redirect the shot from Curry. Frame. Almost gets it to Matthews. That shot taken from well outside with very little power. If it was placed perfectly, it would have had a chance, though. Oh, Townsend! What a terrible giveaway, though. That was pretty ridiculous. From a free kick, Moffitt and Frame, and then back to Moffitt. And Moffitt just kicks it straight to Campbell. That took a really good shot from Townsend to beat Ball. But again, Ball, he's not that good yet. That's the thing. We're still playing 10th tier with a whole bunch of 16-year-olds. So it's a U18 squad, but it's very much a young U18 squad without the experience, without having developed. it will take them a little while. But a few wins, and let's go back to the anxious to avenge thing, because I don't think there's really anything feedback-wise that I can give them that makes much sense here. Now, our bench is much weaker than our starting 11. Almost throughout. I mean, Swain, White, Cross, they're okay. But almost every position's a definite step back as Matthews gets his third to reclaim the lead off the corner. Simple volley in. That was poorly defended there. Oh, the header, he might have gotten a piece of that, but he should have cleared that away. 55th minute. Can we hang on to it this time? Fowler made a good run there. Dyer, good interception. Good job chasing it back. Oh, Matthews, free, makes it 4. 4th in the game, 4th of the season. 4th for us in our opener. Another missed header. And that's the thing, those low ratings, there's going to be a lot of mistakes. And Matthews knows how to capitalize. Will he have 50 goals this season? I think he might. Especially if his finishing goes up. Imagine if he's the kind of player that benefits from form. Here you go, Matthews, can he make it 5? Oh, he nearly does. Defense finally has to put that out for a goal kick. I don't know why they didn't go for the throw-in, but here's Dyer, lays it off for frame. Dyer again, tries to send it across. Nobody can get on the end of it. This is one of the best teams in the league we're going up against. And the next best player besides our top 2 guys in the league. And he's created both of their goals, chances. So what will anyone else do? Maybe not much. Townsend. Oh. Is he offside? Or was that corner? I think he might have been offside there. Dyer clears that one away. Definitely starting to show his stuff. Here's another ball for Matthews. That was a difficult angle. Comes close, though. I'll be looking for 5. We've got 4 yellow cards in our defense right now. That's a little worrying. Dale goes close. It's kind of straight at the keeper's feet, though. Ooh, frame. Poor clearance on that one. Kind of puts it in a dangerous spot. Matthews off to the races. Forces a good save out of their keeper. Matthews is going to chase this one down, but he loses it. Tried to turn, pull it back. Defender was ready. Matthews with a 9.8 rating and his 4 goals. Matthews tips that one along instead of trying to bring it down for himself. Here's Dale. Dale gives it up again. That's a couple giveaways from Dale that we've seen. Matthews over the top again, and he beats the keeper a 5th time. It's 5-2. Are we seeing history in the making? What a run there. Nice first touch, too, for Matthews. I mean, if he were to develop, he's a future regular in the Premier League. So for a 10th tier side with a decent amount of quality already. Townsend! Try to get one back. Can't do it. 5-2. Corner. Nice interception by Ball. Long ball ahead. Gets picked up all the way back to the keeper. Plays another long one. Frame's going to get there. Again, long ball to Matthews. Matthews doesn't need help. He's got 6 all on his own. Great through balls, though. His pace, his anticipation, and the fact that these other guys can actually get that ball to him. Right? The defense. Matthews is just eating this defense alive. He's missed a lot of chances, too. I mean, he could have had a lot more than the 6 goals he's had, but he's got a perfect 10 rating. And the team's ratings looking really nice as well. Based on that kind of performance, if we were to do that on a regular basis, we'll cruise. We will cruise. We'll have fewer points dropped than we had points won all of last season. Maybe just maybe to the original number before the youth intake, where we picked up 7 points in those final 5 games, right? We had, prior to that moment, through 33 games, we had 10 points. We had 7 in the final 5. And really, that came down to the final 3. Overcoming the low morale took a little while. Let's calmly say that was a very good performance. No, you know what? It's early season. Tell them they did well. Excuse me. All right. We're going to let some time play. See how the team does in the short term. At this point, there's not much to do besides raise the reputation a little bit so that I can actually start hiring some staff. They don't need to be good, but they've got to be better than a few that have looked for a job so far. So if we can get that reputation up to, like say a 10 in a handful of games, we could actually start getting some okay. Let's go ahead and praise that. That was excellent. He's got perfect morale now. Imagine if he scored 6 a game all season long. Even if he, only got 5 a game, he'd have nearly 200 goals. That's crazy. Yeah, you think? That was insane. Let's see those early records. Highest position was 20th, also our lowest. We'll overcome that this season. Most points was 17. We'll overcome that soon. Especially the 4 league wins. I think the 29 losses is going to be a permanent record. That one's going to stay put. But you got to start somewhere, right? We'll get above 32 quite soon as well. It was less than a goal a game. Highest attendance was 41. I think we'll pass that before long, especially if we're leading the league. Average attendance was 22. Oh, and the lowest was 11. That's not that bad. Already there's your new record. Biggest win. Not as bad as our biggest defeat, though. The same team that we just played, beat us 8-2 at home a year ago. Baines Cross had the most goals, 10. Highest average rating was a 6.9. We'll beat that handily this season. There's those new records coming in. Alright, well, we're going to let a good month and a half go by, and we'll see where the team is after a little while. Well, it looks like the Blackburn Rovers have decided to give us $20,000 to see Nicky Matthews and Luke Dyer. Yes, our top 2 players, both just a couple days after that opening game of the season as we were on vacation. Even though it's set to say no to every single deal, offers came in from Blackburn involving a decent amount of money, $20,000 between the two of them. And the board overruled and said, oh, yeah, no, I'd love $20,000, and sold the players anyway. So Dyer and Matthews have been gone since that first game of the season. I brought them back today, forcibly, as I can't go sign any players, so you can't sign mine unless I want them to go. And I did not want them to go, so they return. Thanks for the $20,000. You're welcome for borrowing them for that short term. I don't think you got your money's worth. But you did mess up our season slightly. So in the meantime, Luke Dyer has developed a little bit. He's an 84 now instead of a 77. Not sure where he has improved. And meanwhile, Nicky Matthews also. They were both 77s last time I checked. Barry Bell, Lee Williamson-Toying, looking all right. Scott Frame coming along. Definitely top 5 players within the squad. Then things begin to drop off a bit. Wilkinson certainly could improve to that kind of level. But on the early stat sheets, we don't have anything for these two guys. They're not counting the 6 goals that they scored early on, even though, there you go. He had no appearances for Blackburn at that time. Yep, that's it. Nothing showing up. He had no non-competitive matches of any kind, and so that was that. Now, he had 11 goals in 6 appearances last season, including his U18s match. Here, we're at officially nothing. I suppose that's counting the 6 goals. There you go, the 6 goals, 5 matches plus the one at the start of the season. But it's counted as days of old. I'm sure the league would still count it, right? Hopefully. And with that, we haven't done quite as well. We've had 2 draws. We've had 4 wins. We're the only undefeated team, but we did take 2 draws in that period. One was goalless, one was 1-1. It's harder to get goals without your main goal scorer around. So we've got a little bit of work to do to get back to the top of the league. Again, there is some development going on, so some players are going in the right direction. Am I done with my training course? No, I am still training. But meanwhile, it looks like my youngster knowledge, player knowledge, and determination have all moved from a 2 to a 3. Attacking and defending have gone from 2 to a 3. Tactical, technical, and mental have all gone from a 2 to a 3. But meanwhile, working with youngsters, goalkeeping and fitness levels have not changed at all at this point. Def Center, O'Hagan, kind of the only one on the players to watch list. Our U18s are getting absolutely hammered. Why? Because this is the original U18s playing here. The only player on this roster now, there were a few, but the only player now from our original roster, or from the youth intake, is Harry O'Hagan, 39 and 52. But with such low potential, he's the only piece of that team that's doing anything, and he's kind of been their core. But look how bad their ratings are. They look like we did. Our under 23s aren't doing any better. But eventually we'll be filling that out with intakes in years to come. September 16th, hopefully somebody doesn't come in, sweep in right away and take these players away again, because those long periods, stagnant periods in between while we're on vacation, if the board really wants the money, which apparently they do, especially with a takeover available out there, it's kind of hurting us. Let's see if there's been any change, though. Ooh, okay, there is a change. Club reputation has jumped to a 20 from the 5 we were at. Now, that's still really low. I mean, what is the max reputation? 10,000. But that's a significant jump from where we were. I mean, we went from a 1 to a 5 the entire season last year. We've gone from a 5 to a 20 in just 6 weeks. this year. So it's definitely heading the right direction. We're going to let time pass again. We have had 2 matches already in the FA Vase, winning both of those matches without our top goal scorers. I'm going to need to go back in here and get these guys back into the starting lineup. Yeah, Dyer and Matthews in their place. It has been what's happened with this lineup? Oh, the positions weren't even filled, so it was kind of random. Oh, no, Luke Dyer. There we go. So, I think Craig Baines-Cross filled in a bit. Yeah, he's had 7 appearances, 3 goals. Who else it was? Not sure. It looks like Gage Swain had a start because Wilkinson, yellow card. He's already had 1 suspension. Looks like he's about to have another. Catton's missed a game. Darren White's had a start. I don't even see. Oh, there it is. Phil Hammond. Okay, Phil Hammond's had 4 starts. That's good. That is one of our intake guys, just kind of the lowest of them. He's got decent potential, but he's kind of the farthest away from that potential and not developing terribly well. It's not helping that he's not playing too much, but wow, look at that. 400,000 in the bank. Hooray! We've got some money. I have a feeling that the reputation is still rising. We just got a new answer to our advertisement for the head physio, Francis Laird. We're up to a 5 now, and I'm actually tempted to finally go ahead and sign someone on a short-term deal anyway. Maybe 1 year contract. A 5 physio is certainly better than no physio at all, which is where we've been for a long time. So let's go ahead and approach him to sign and see what we can get. 60 is our limit. 8-month contract sounds perfect. Yeah. He doesn't care for that one. Suggest again. Okay, he budges to 65. Can we? There it is. Okay, terms accepted. Excellent. We're going to have our first staff member. Took us long enough, 1.5 years, right? Okay, 118s. O'Hagan, a 40 now. Nothing going on in the under 23s. Main squad. Wilkinson and Catton have both been suspended for yellow card accumulation. You can see just from the ratings. Matthews, 8.41 average rating, 8 appearances, 12 goals. That's not counting the 6, so he actually has 18 with us in 9 appearances. Not gone this time either. Even Barry Ball, with very little to do, has a 6.94 rating. Sorry. Alright, so Dyer's at an 86, Matthews an 82, Barry Ball now a 71. Seeing a little improvement. Catton's up to a 40. Darren White, Neil Curry both at 18s. They're still fairly well stalled. Not seeing much change these days. So the youth intake is kind of the biggest way to impact the team right now. Also moving up a level or 2 certainly could help. We've got a 9-point lead. We did have 1 draw during that stretch, but now through 14 played, we're we're well clear at the front of the league, so I think we are cruising towards the 9th tier. So that's good. And one more quick thing to check here. I did finally complete the National C license. Motivating's up to a 5, and Management's up to a 4. So we pick up a point in each of those. And we also see Fitness and all the goalkeeper ratings go up to 2s, and we pick up a point in each of these. So other than the working with youngsters, everything in this area is now developed. Now I know adaptability doesn't, discipline doesn't. I don't know if working with youngsters changes, if it develops. If I get to the end of the season and it still hasn't changed, adaptability doesn't matter. Excuse me. It's the individual's chances of finding employment in a foreign league. That's not us. But I'm not sure if this develops. So if we get to the end of the season, then we'll manually kind of bring it up to whatever our lowest is here, which right now would be a 2. So we could slowly kind of bring that along with the others, just to have that natural ascension. My reputation is growing. We're up to a 21 ability. And current reputation is up over 2,000 already, so that's massive, especially compared to the club and where it's at. Speaking of the club, have we seen any change here? Oh yeah, 44, so it's growing rapidly right now. So we should actually be able to find maybe a decent assistant coach here at some point. Curry and Moffitt got promoted to captains in the absence of our guys, so we might go back and change that at some point, but that could upset things. We have the FAV second round is the next match. Actually, it's today. But we'll go ahead and wrap this episode up here. Now for that competition, how far does it go? They want me to reach the final, which is asking a lot, but 3rd round, 4th round, 5th, quarterfinal, semifinal, and final. So there's still a good ways to go. We've got this game, at least 7 to play, 6 to win just to get to the team's expectation. So they think pretty highly of us, but of course if we continue to go through takeover, then ooh, hello. Not going through one now. So apparently the takeovers failed, and we stick with the same ownership. Alright, well, that's going to do it for this episode. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to hit that like button for a major second season turnaround. Could we be cruising to promotion? Looks like we might be. So just 2 seasons, 1 set of youth intake is all it's going to take to get us off the bottom. But we've got a long ways to go to the Premier League. So don't get too excited yet. Bye for now.